The scent of eucalyptus and leather filled the air at Equinox, Kensington, a temple of wealth and vanity disguised as a gym. Beneath the pristine chandeliers and polished mirrors, patrons pushed their limits on cutting-edge machines and in private training rooms. Among them was Cassandra, a vision of controlled power and grace. Her sleek workout gear clung to her like a second skin, and her movements, fluid, deliberate, drew every eye in the room. She didn't care about the stares. Cassandra was there for one reason: to test her latest target. She had seen him often enough, barking orders at his trainer or swaggering through the gym like he owned it. Ethan Ward, a renowned real estate developer, was a man accustomed to control and dominance. His reputation preceded him, sharp, ruthless, and insatiably ambitious. He caught her attention during a recent exchange with one of the gym's attendants. A scheduling mix-up had led to Ethan being denied access to his usual private training suite. Rather than handling it discreetly, he had raised his voice, using charm-tinged condescension to mask his annoyance. "I'll let it slide this time," he'd said with a smirk. "But don't let it happen again. I'm not just anyone." Cassandra watched from the shadows, her lips curving into a smile. A rebellion seeker. He thrived on challenges, on testing boundaries, but she could see the cracks beneath his bravado. He didn't need respect. He craved dominance. And Cassandra, the Siren, was more than ready to oblige. It started innocently enough. Cassandra timed her next workout to coincide with Ethan's, strategically placing herself on the treadmill beside his. Her pace was steady, her form flawless. Ethan, caught mid-sprint, noticed her almost immediately. She didn't acknowledge him, her focus entirely on her run, and the deliberate disregard piqued his interest. "Nice form," he said, slowing his treadmill to a jog. Cassandra turned her head, her emerald eyes meeting his. "Nice effort," she replied, her tone cool but laced with a hint of amusement. Ethan grinned. "Effort? You don't think I've got it down by now?" "Effort," she repeated, stepping off her machine with a languid stretch. "Skill is another matter entirely." She left him staring after her as she walked away, her hips swaying with calculated precision. The first seed had been planted. Over the next week, Cassandra let their encounters unfold naturally. She'd pass him by in the weight room, her confidence palpable, or engage in playful banter during cool-down stretches. Ethan's intrigue grew with every interaction, his usual dominance challenged by her elusive demeanor. One afternoon, she caught him between sets on the bench press. "Impressive weight," she said, leaning against a nearby machine. "But what's the point of strength if it's all show?" Ethan sat up, wiping the sweat from his brow. "And what's the point of critique if you're not willing to back it up?" Cassandra smirked, stepping closer. "Is that a challenge?" "Depends," he said, his voice dropping. "Can you handle it?" Her laughter was low and melodic, sending a shiver down his spine. "Meet me at the studio after hours. I'll show you what I can handle." The gym was quiet when Ethan arrived, the usual bustle replaced by dim lighting and an air of exclusivity. Cassandra was already there, waiting on the mat with a yoga strap in hand. She was barefoot, her toned figure outlined by sleek, black activewear. "You made it," she said, her smile teasing. "Are you ready?" "For what?" he asked, stepping closer. "To submit," she replied, her voice a seductive whisper. Ethan's eyebrows shot up, but before he could respond, Cassandra tossed him the strap. "Tie your wrist to your ankle. Let's see how flexible you really are." It was a bold move, but Ethan's competitive nature wouldn't let him back down. He followed her instructions, his movements awkward but determined. Cassandra circled him, her gaze appraising. "Not bad," she said, crouching beside him. "But you're too rigid. Let go, Ethan. Strength isn't about resistance. It's about surrender. Her hands moved to adjust his posture, the touch both firm and tantalizing. Ethan's breath hitched as her fingers lingered, her proximity intoxicating. When their session ended, Cassandra handed him a towel and a sly smile. "You're not as unteachable as I thought," she said. "But if you really want to impress me, you'll need to try harder." "What do you want me to do?" he asked, his voice low. "There's a community center downtown," she said. "They've been trying to renovate their gym for years, but funding keeps falling through. I'd like you to change that." Ethan hesitated. "How much are we talking?" "Enough to make a difference," she replied, her tone leaving no room for negotiation. In the weeks that followed, Cassandra's demands escalated. She had Ethan fund the community gym's renovation, donate fitness equipment, and sponsor scholarships for underprivileged youth. Each contribution came with a new test, an intimate training session, a private dinner where she teased him mercilessly, or a whispered, "good boy," that sent his heart racing. Ethan found himself addicted to her approval, craving the rare moments when she let her guard down just enough to praise his efforts. But she never let him forget who was in control. One evening, after a gala celebrating the community center's reopening, Ethan cornered her in a quiet hallway. "What are we doing, Cassandra?" he asked, his voice raw. "What do you want from me?" She stepped closer, her hand resting on his chest. "I want you to understand that real power isn't about taking. It's about giving. And you're finally learning how to give." "And if I want more than this?" he asked, his breath hitching. Her smile was slow and deliberate. "Then you'll have to prove you deserve it." Cassandra's final demand came in the form of a multi-million-dollar donation to a foundation she was establishing, one dedicated to creating wellness programs for underserved communities. When Ethan signed the check, she leaned in, her lips brushing his ear. "You've done well," she murmured. "But remember, Ethan, devotion isn't a one-time payment. It's a lifelong commitment." And as she walked away, leaving him standing there with a mix of pride and longing, Ethan knew he would spend the rest of his life trying to earn more of her approval and her dominance.